Hello and welcome to Trend Watch 777. Today we're going to be talking about a young boy. His name is Kohen Wiley. He was fatally shot by police in Mississippi, and it started with Walmart, who called in a shoplifting. I think they said the mom was shoplifting Pampers, and then the police came, and things escalated from there. So we're going to transition over here and read a little bit about the story. And then before we go over to YouTube and watch a video by Roland S. Martin. So shout out to him. Okay, so here, a Mississippi police shooting of a 1-year-old boy sparks outrage. A 1-year-old boy, Kohen Wiley, was fatally shot in Senatobia, Mississippi, after police responded to a reported shoplifting call at a Walmart. The incident has ignited national scrutiny and calls for police accountability. Yeah, they need to be held accountable, not only in Mississippi, but all over the place, all over the nation, especially when it comes to policing of black people. Okay, and so what happened on June 14th, 2026, Senatobia police and the Tate County Sheriff's Office arrived at a Walmart to investigate an alleged theft involving a box of Pampers diapers. Witnesses and family members say two women, Coleman's mother, Valencia Wiley, and a friend left the store with the child, who was placed in the friend's car. According to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, officers attempted to stop the vehicle, but the driver allegedly drove toward them. So I guess they given them a reason to use deadly force. Nearly hitting an officer. An officer then fired into the car, which fled to a nearby hospital. So the car fled. The person that was driving the car fled to a nearby hospital, probably because the child was then hit, and she realized the child needed medical attention immediately. Cohen was pronounced dead. The friend was critically injured. Family members dispute the shoplifting claim, saying the diapers were paid for and that Cohen's mother tried to show officers the baby was inside the vehicle before gunfire struck. The shooting has drawn hundreds of protesters to Senatobia's City Hall, courthouse, and the Walmart. Okay, so civil rights leaders, including Bernice King, have condemned the incident as a moral collapse, comparing it to other cases where black lives were lost over minor offensive. The officer who fired has been placed on administrative leave, and that's what they do after. I believe anytime an officer fires his weapon, then the next step is administration leave. So they just following protocol. No arrests have been announced, and the investigation is ongoing. All right. So, and then community in Senatobia, a town about 8,000 people, that's a very small town, has a history of strained relations with law enforcement, with recent incidents fueling distrust. Residents say the cases underscores concern about excessive force and overreacting or reaction in policing. Now, for a town of 8,000 people, that's very small. And so I wonder how many black cops as opposed to white cops they have on the force. That would say a lot. So we're going to go over here and listen to this video by Roland S. Martin.
Folks, what started as an alleged shoplifting incident in Mississippi turned into the tragic death of a one-year-old black boy. The Senatobia, Mississippi police officer, first of all, let's walk with who happened, okay? First and foremost, cops were called and allegation that someone was shoplifting. Cops show up. They see two adults walking out with a child, get into a car. All of a sudden, cops fire into the car. Now, the woman in the car is saying there's a child inside. Doesn't matter.
Now, what I don't understand, he just said that they saw the two women with the child walking out. They got into a car, and then the next step, the police started firing. I don't understand. But in that reading, it said that the driver drove the car towards the officer. But I'm trying to figure out, why did it escalate them, the officers, to use deadly force?
The cops still fire. As a result, this one-year-old kid, I mean, just beyond tragic, is shot and killed, who's in the car. As a result, protests have been taking place since then for Kohen Wiley. That's the young man right there. That cop involved is now on leave. And again, this took place on Sunday, June 14th. And so cops, again, they counter these two adults and child getting to the vehicle. Mississippi Bureau of Investigation said the driver then drove in the direction.
Look, they're all white. I don't see one black person yet. 8,000 people. 8,000 people.
The officers nearly striking one of them.
Look at this. I don't see one black person on the force yet. And then the protesters, the people out there, they primarily black.
And that's when an officer fired his weapon and the vehicle fled the scene. The vehicle later arrived at a local hospital where Wiley was pronounced dead. Another person in the car suffered critical injuries. The mother of Alicia Wiley claimed she showed officers her one-year-old was in the car just moments before the officer fired shots, killing her. Cohen's family is calling for Wiley's family is calling for the release of the officer's body cam video and the Walmart surveillance video. Here is an interview with the mother that.
Look at that. I'm surprised they don't have any police dogs out there. Wow.
Ben Crump posted on social media.
Marcus Keith. Valicia Wiley lost her son to the negligence of law enforcement in Senatobia, Mississippi. Can you please tell what happened?
It was me, my son, and another friend of mine who was at Walmart. As we was leaving out the Walmart, they tried to stop her, but I kept walking because it had nothing to do with me. By the time me and my baby got in the car, she came, and then when we was backing up, they was running out to come. I raised my baby up because they withdrew their gun. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia hospital where he was pronounced dead at the scene. And they told me I wasn't gonna be able to see him until he get back from Jackson. She got airlifted and the.
Can you imagine being told that you cannot see your child that you know had just passed away? And I believe the baby probably died in her arms because I know she was holding on to him. She was holding him up I guess the other person was her friend. I'm trying to follow this story. I'm trying to find out why did it escalate to this point. So far, my understanding is it wasn't the mother who they was after. It was the friend who they was after, and it was the friend who was driving the car. It had to be because the mother said that she was holding baby Cohen up so that they can see that a child is in the car. But they knew the child was in the car because before they even got into the car, they saw the child with the mother and the friend. I'm still not getting why it escalated to a point where they use deadly force. I'm not getting it.
Police told me I couldn't leave out the hospital until somewhere I couldn't leave out, couldn't nobody come in. But I ended up walking out. And the crowd was questioning them, asking them what happened. They was like, she was shoplifting. But the passenger, it was me. They wasn't talking about me. They was talking about the driver. But on the little, what's it called, self-checkout, they can see, it's cameras, they can see when she got the diapers and walked out. But yeah, they tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side, and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
Did they try to charge you with anything?
No, they didn't charge me. They ain't charged me with nothing. They just let me go. And they didn't say nothing. They just kept telling the crowd that they was shoplifting. But I don't know if they found anything because it's nothing to find.
Okay.
Folks, Ben Crump, the family attorney, is going to be joining us at 7:45. Go to my panel here, Robert. This is...
It's just a young woman. She's a young mom, too. She look like she's a teenager.
It is still perplexing to me. If Walmart calls the cops, they say someone allegedly shoplifting. And then here we go again. Reminds me of what happened in Minneapolis. Oh, the car was charging at the officer, and then the officers began shooting. Even though the officers observed the adults coming out and a child was with them, what I don't understand is, why would you shoot at the car? All you gotta do is follow the car.
That's when I'm thinking too, and I'm sure perhaps maybe it was other people in the parking lot. So a stray bullet could what they call it, friendly. It's not friendly fire unless you're in a war, right? But a stray bullet could have veered off and hit another customer that was just perhaps maybe just walking by. It just seemed like they had a field day on that car.
And this is part of the reason that we don't see these things happen in other countries, because other countries don't give every police officer a car or a gun. Normally, you have to be part of a special unit in order to have a gun in other countries, where you give literally anybody who doesn't even need to take college courses in some cases a gun. You have things like this happen. This is clearly wildly negligent what officers did. This is wildly inappropriate to fire into a vehicle not knowing who is in it or what is in it. The first thing they teach you when you go to the shooting range, for example, they tell you don't point your gun at anything unless you want to kill or destroy it. Assume that anything you're aiming at, there's something behind it. This is the basics of guns 101 were violated in this situation, and my heart goes out to the family, my heart goes out to the community. But we have to change the way that we police Black communities. You can steal an aircraft carrier and they won't shoot at you, but if you are shoplifting diapers at Walmart, you get shot by the cops. Think about the folks on January 6th who were able to raid the entirety of the White House with impunity and got pardons. But this is the way we police Black communities.
And not only that, don't forget the administration wanted to open up and have a slush fund for them, make them millionaires overnight.
This is why we have to go.
And that is straight up lawlessness. This whole administration just seemed like it's so full of lawlessness that it's just trickling down into everyday life, and it's just getting worse and worse. People is just getting out of hand these days.
Go back to President Obama's 21st century framework on law enforcement and go back to this idea, not this Trump law and order ideology, but on this idea of going back to community-based policing and actually having restorative justice ideas. So instead of shooting at somebody over diapers, you're actually able to, one, protect the store and their property, but also protect life and enforce the law without having to escalate situations.
I'll tell you what, Rebecca, the protests have been consistent. Police officers have pulled out gas as well. Y'all can show some of that video, please. And folks there, they want answers. Rebecca?
You know, Roland, we've talked about this for years. And I made it clear definitely what my position is when it comes to so-called law enforcement in this country. If we're looking for...
Well, just like they need to boycott Walmart, especially this particular location right here. If they feel that strongly about it, boycott it. Just like they're boycotting all those Asian stores and Asian businesses, boycott Walmart just as well.
For law enforcement to respond to behavioral health crises.
Maybe not all Walmarts, but definitely this location right here. I'm still not getting what happened that it escalated to, okay, let me just say that this is the story that I'm picking up so far. The young lady that was driving the car, she was driving towards the officer, and so the officer, in his mind, feared for their lives. And so I guess once he started firing, then the other officers just followed suit. That's what I'm getting so far. Other than that, I don't see any reason why it should have escalated like it did. I don't see that. And then not only that, if it was a shoplifting call, why didn't the people, the security in the store stop them before they even left out the door? Or don't Walmart ask you for a receipt? I know one store, or is that Costco's or something? Then I don't know, one store they ask you for a receipt or something before they let you out the door. So why didn't they ask for a receipt? Because I believe the young lady said that they're on camera and they can view that she purchased the diapers. This is over diapers.
Appropriate for that. If we're looking for law enforcement,
a child lost his life.
To respond to shoplifting, assuming that shoplifting, we know shoplifting didn't occur here. Here's the thing. You have detectives who can do that. I mean, they have video footage. I mean, we're so we're such a surveillance state in this country. There's cameras everywhere, right? They have a camera of her, of the driver at the checkout lane. There's cameras outside of Walmart. There's cameras on the way to her home in Mississippi, because there's so many cameras everywhere in this country. So then you assign it to a detective to then go look at the license plate, show up at her house, ask the questions, and then she shows the proof of purchase. Okay, great. But this idea of even policing in Black communities, like, Robert, I hear you, but this isn't working. This isn't working. We know why we have police departments in this country. They were former slave catchers. Even when we see ICE in modern times, it's almost like slave catchers, watching them round up so-called immigrants, so-called vermin and illegal aliens in this country. That's modern slave catching that we're watching. There's no reform. I mean, and it's not just that they shot a 1-year-old child, they shot a baby. They shot a baby. They saw that there was a baby in that car and they shot a baby. They shot to kill and they killed. They killed a baby. Where is Walmart? What does Walmart say?
It just seemed like they didn't care who they killed. They could have killed all 3 people in the car the way they was just carrying on.
This is their store, right? Is it always their policy to ignore all the camera footage that they have and instead invite law enforcement that we know has been very violent to these very communities, to Black communities in this country? What is Walmart's official position here? Does Walmart stand with the killing of this baby, the killing of this child? Where are all the pro-life people? Do they stand with the killing of this baby? Doesn't this baby have rights? There's a lot of hypocrisy here, but Policing in Black communities isn't the answer here.
Joy?
And we also need to end qualified immunity. Training isn't it. The problem with, yes, we want 21st century better policing. Absolutely. We want what Rebecca is talking about, different types of people to provide interventions. But in this case, there would be a police response. What we need is something on the police side to give them pause, to say, if you make this kind of mistake is a mistake that's going to cost your family its generational wealth. It's going to cost the community, not just them, but you are going to be asking people in your community. We're going to want to know, why did you do that? You're not going to be able to go to your church and be comfortable. Your family, your children are going to have people.
That would only work if you had a moral conscience. If you was like morally, if you had any kind of morals, right and wrong, knowing from right and wrong, instead of being evil or corrupted, then perhaps her argument will work. But if you don't have any morals and your heart is evil from the inside, it's going to take more than her argument to bring forth a change.
People asking questions. You may not have the resources. Your wife is going to be saying, hey, be careful. Don't be quick on the trigger because we want to send little Jimmy to college. That's the kind of thing that we need. No profession. You can just behave irresponsibly and assume that you'll get away with it. Or, you may lose your job. You may move a town over. But the taxpayers will defray the cost. As long as you don't do something completely outside of it, you won't have a criminal charge. And even if you do, chances are there won't be a conviction. That's how the police are almost running roughshod and lawless. They are a modern day slave catcher, to Rebecca's point. We have to figure out, that's something we have not tried. We have got to figure out a way to change the thought process of these people. It's not training. They can't be trained enough because unfortunately we have a sense of lawlessness.
And it's not only the thought process that needs to be changed, it's the heart. It's what's inside a person's heart that needs to be changed. Because once you change a person's heart, then it's going to reflect in their actions and in their words and in their deeds and in their lives. But you're not going to change. It takes more. It goes a lot deeper. And what's missing out of this equation here, out of this whole conversation, is Jesus. That's the only thing that can bring forth a change that she's talking about. It's not their mind. If you change their heart, then you can change that the way they're thinking as well. It's a heart thing. If you're evil in your heart, you're going to bring forth evil. Simple as that.
And there are no consequences. So it doesn't matter what the officer is, black, white. They may love black people, but they don't care about us. They may say they do, but they don't care about us. They have they can do whatever they want. That has got to end. Because without that, we'll never have trust in policing. Without that, people, of course, are going to run. Without that, we can't even, if you're a business, you can't even trust that you can call the cops and they're going to have a reasonable response. We also have to accept that if these people were white, the response would have been different. I don't care what race the cop was. The response would have been different. We care more about white people, especially a white woman with a baby. There's no way they would have done this. This is the kind of thing
they probably would have went in there and bought the child some toys or something like that. Or when they're offered to pay for the Pampers, well, here, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Due to black people, because they do not value our lives. And so if my white friends or anybody out there who's wondering why we say Black Lives Matter, it's because at times like this, it's clear that they do not.
Ben Crump has now joined us, and so let me go to him right now. Ben, we were talking about this story out of Mississippi. The police are already coming up with their story saying that the car that was carrying this one-year-old kid almost hit an officer, and that's why he fired. But I was looking on social media, and several people are saying that there's cell phone footage of the incident that shows that was not the case.
Yeah, and that's certainly been articulated by the mother of Kohen Wiley. The fact that she said that the car was going away from the police, but even Roland Martin, they were notified that a person was shoplifting for Pampers. Now, this was not our client, not the mother. This was somebody who she was with. But just the fact, if you're taking Pampers, how dangerous can you be? Like, is that something that you use deadly force on? And so it's troubling on many levels. The fact, Roland Martin, that if it were as they said it was, why haven't they released the Walmart parking lot surveillance video? Because we know Walmart got video everywhere.
Right.
Why haven't they
Everywhere.
released the body cam video? Why haven't they released the dash cam video? You know, be transparent and show us that your officer had to shoot and kill this one-year-old black baby, because we think it was unjustified, and worst of all, it was broad daylight. It was unnecessary. The lady held the baby up saying that I have a baby in the car, and they shot anyway.
I saw one account also that the officers observed two adults leaving with the child out of the store and getting into the car. So if they
knew.
observed that, they knew that there was a child.
Yeah, man, it's so heartbreaking, Roland. Where are we at in America when Pampers, a water bottle, all these, yes, minimal materialistic things end up costing black life? It cannot be in a humane society where we say you can kill a baby because somebody took a box of Pampers. You can kill a 14-year-old black boy because you believe he took a bottle of water. And this case is so bad when you think about the fact that they were called by Walmart and told that somebody shoplifted Pampers. And that's, I can't even get over that, Roland Martin. It's
And
so
I can't
heartbreaking
get
that
over. They called the cops. Don't they have security? Now, aren't they the first line of action that they go through? Their own security. I don't know, but I think Walmart has security, and then. What they call it? Theft prevention or something like that. Don't they have someone within their store, theft prevention or something like that? And then, if needed, then they will call the police. And there's something not missing. Something's not adding up in this story, because it just went from 0 to 100 just like that, and I'm missing something here. I don't understand the lethal force that was used.
this beautiful baby boy is taken from this world while he's in his mother's hands over a box of Pampers.
So you talked about calling for the release. So who now is running this investigation? Is the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation?
It is, Roland, and they've released the name of the police officer, and now our office has gotten many calls about where this person, they believe, used excessive force on other black people. So I think, you know, they're going to say it was just...
Looks like we lost Ben Crump there, so hopefully we'll get him back. Let's go to a. Okay, there he is.
Apologize.
Okay, all right.
Okay. They
Go ahead.
I apologize, Roland. They saying he had to
Okay.
make this decision because the car was coming at him. That's been disputed, but they say this officer has a history of,
History.
excessive force against black people. So that's why transparency is so important, Roland Martin. That's why we need the Black Star Network and everybody to keep calling for the release of the videos. And now that we know his name, we want to know what is in his jacket.
Absolutely. All right, Ben. Always good to see you. Hate under these circumstances.
Thank you so much, Roland
Wow.
Martin. Really appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, so shout out again to Roland S. Martin for that video there. And some of the comments, I'm going to read a few of the comments and see what they are saying down here below. They need to release the video immediately. Absolutely, they do. My condolences to you and your family, my sister. Absolutely. Let's keep the mom in our prayers because she's a young mother, too. And I don't know how many other children, if she have any other children, and her support system. So let's keep her in our in our thoughts and prayers, as well as the other young lady. Now I haven't heard much about her. The person that was driving the car, the one that was hitting the arm and the thigh, is critical. That's all I know about her. So let's keep her in our prayer as well for her speedy recovery. Those cops saw that baby, made a decision to shoot the car up anyway. They need to go to jail for taking that baby's life. Shaking my head. Absolutely. This is not a young man. This is a baby. Right. My heart goes out to the family. My God. Father, please give her some peace now. Prayers for the life of this innocent baby. Absolutely. And with that, I am going to go ahead and leave it there. And yeah, definitely, we must keep the family in prayer. Not only that, I pray that whoever involved, the police involved, whoever had any kind of involvement in this situation, that they be held accountable as well. And those people at Walmart, I don't even understand why they would call the police on somebody shoplifting, allegedly shoplifting diapers and getting away with it. Now, when they came out the store, did they see the person with any bags, or did they see him with any Pampers, or what? And it's just so much that is not being said, and I still, for the life of me, don't understand why. And so why this deadly force was used like that in the first place, because it just seemed like they had an open season on that car. All three of those people's lives could have been taken out that day. We got the little child, unfortunately he got caught. And then we have the driver, who I believe, assumably, is still in critical condition. I haven't heard an update, and thank God the mom, she came out unharmed. So, but yeah, okay. So let's follow this story, and if I come across an update, I would definitely do an update. So y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all in my next video. And definitely, y'all be safe out there. All right? Just be safe and prayed up. Okay, I'm attached this to my first video that I made. So this is an update, and I haven't watched this. Okay, so update. MS cop, Mississippi cop who killed 1-year-old, put on administrative leave. All right. I hope this is an update, because I did mention in my other video, in the video, that he was put on administrative leave.
This was in Mississippi. That cop is now on leave. Put up the picture full mass. We now have a statement from the mother as well, and I got more background. We have an update in the case of the 1-year-old Kohen Wiley, who was fatally shot by a Mississippi cop. The officer, whose identity still has not been released, nor can we confirm, has been placed on administrative leave. Meanwhile,
Wait a minute. Hold up. I believe it said that his name has been released and we know who he is because they said that he have a history of using excessive force against black people, if I'm not mistaken. And that was in a prior clip.
the 1-year-old's mother has retained our dear brother and friend Benjamin Crump and spoken out. First, while the identity of the cop who shot Cohen has not been revealed, a heavily redacted document obtained by Action News 5, that's your local news agency, reveals an officer who was, in fact, at least involved, Hunter Foster. That's the only name we have. We do not have the context for that name, but that is the officer we have on record. There's more. I want to remind you of how the shooting happened. Police had responded to a call on Sunday, a report alleging someone attempted to steal a box of diapers from the local Walmart. An officer fired a gun at a moving vehicle before it left the scene. According to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, authorities maintained the vehicle involved was driving toward an officer at the time of the shooting, although witnesses have challenged that account. That's according to the Mississippi Free Press. So let's zoom out for a moment and understand from the date of first reporting to the update now, you already have the one thing I said was problematic. Every time we have heard this narrative that somehow the officer could not get out of the way of a vehicle and decided to fire their shot into the car, a moving car. The police report usually has been exaggerated enough in order to justify the cop's position and shooting. When the official report came out that said, oh, well, the officer feared for his life because the car was driving in the direction of the officer. I said, that is a routine play. It sounds familiar because it is. Now we have witnesses, according to the local press, that contradict the narrative that the cop was in danger or the car was coming toward the officer. There's more. On Tuesday evening, the mayor of the Board of Aldermen and the Board of Aldermen placed the officer on administrative leave. He has not been publicly identified and confirmed. Hours earlier, 200 people gathered about a mile away from the Walmart in their downtown outside of City Hall, voicing anguish over the child's death. Cohen's family is demanding the release of the officer's body camera footage, as well as Walmart surveillance video. On Tuesday, Cohen's family had retained well-known civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who's been a guest on this show, to represent them. Crump addressed the child's death in a statement saying, quote, a 1-year-old child is dead because police officers in Mississippi opened fire on a car in a crowded Walmart parking lot. Now, what's your big cause and effect here? Corporate interest. Walmart has their ZT policy, their zero tolerance policy that led to the death of a 1-year-old child because someone allegedly stole diapers. People who have money, disposable income at least.
That's what I said. They shot into that car. It was like open season because what if one of those bullets would have ricocheted or not even go into the car but traveled in and hit one of those other shoppers that was in a parking lot because he just said it was a crowded parking lot. So, wow, I don't get it. I just don't get it. The elevation of the excessive force that they use. I don't. I'm not seeing it. I'm absolutely not seeing it.
They don't steal diapers, they pay for them. So you have a crime of survival, poverty-related crime. You have a corporation that makes billions a year. They create a zero tolerance policy, which creates also by proxy this relationship with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement, they believe it is their obligation to trust the word of a loss prevention employee at Walmart as if another cop told them. And instead of utilizing common sense, they open fire for a product, the diapers. There's nothing in that Walmart. There's nothing that can be stolen from that Walmart. Not one item, not 100. That's more valuable than the 1-year-old baby they killed.
Mm-hmm. That's a life.
Here's Cohen's mother.
Marcus Keith.
Alicia Wiley.
Valicia Wiley lost her son to the negligence of law enforcement in Senatobia, Mississippi. Can you please tell what happened?
It was me, my son, and another friend of mine who was at Walmart. As we was leaving out the Walmart, they tried to stop her, but I kept walking because it had nothing to do with me. By the time me and my baby got in the car, she came, and then when we was backing up, they was running out the come. I raised my baby up because they withdrew their gun. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car. As I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his
That's
rib
a shame.
cage.
I feel bad for this mom. We saw this video in a previous clip, but I feel bad. I really feel bad for the mom because it seemed like the friend that she was with was the cause of all of this in the first place. Because now she's backing up and she hit a car, and this lady here, with the baby, opened up the car and she wanted to get out the car because she saw what was going on, and her friend is over there. What was her friend thinking now? Come on, if it was over diapers.
And the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia Hospital where he was pronounced dead. And they told me I wasn't going to be able to see him until he get back from Jackson. And the crowd was questioning.
Y'all be careful the friends that you hang around with, especially if you go into a store and if she's a known thief, don't go in there with her because whatever she do is going to be a reflection on you, and you might end up suffering the consequences like this here young mother did. I'm not saying a friend was a habitual thief, but allegedly she was accused of taking diapers. Diapers of all things. Diapers of all things. And it escalated with the loss of a 1-year-old baby.
And I'm asking her what happened. That was like she was shoplifting. But the passenger, it was me. They wasn't talking about me. They was talking about the driver. But on the little self-checkout, they can see, it's cameras, they can see when she got the diapers and walked out. But yeah, they tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
Did they try to charge you with anything?
No, they didn't charge me. They ain't charged me with nothing. They just let me go. They just kept telling the crowd that they were shoplifting. But I don't know if they found anything because there's nothing to find.
Put it up. Her child is dead.
Mm-hmm.
She was charged with nothing.
But her child is
There were
dead.
so many ways that law enforcement could have appropriately handled this situation. According to Ms. Wiley, the officers were aware that a child was in the car. Standard policy for every law enforcement agency is to never open fire when you have children or innocent civilians inside of a vehicle. Now, that's under the circumstance that somebody has committed a felony or they have a warrant for a felony. In this scenario, you have neither. As you heard, Ms. Wiley states that she indicated to officers there was a baby in the car. They fired shots anyway, hitting Cohen in the rib cage. Once again, she denies any shoplifting allegations, and she has not been charged with anything. Since Cohen's murder, people protested in the Walmart parking lot as law enforcement officers wore gas masks and unleashed tear gas on their own citizens. SWAT was also present to block doors to Walmart. Leon
SWAT.
White,
Good
local
grief.
resident since 1999, said the city's residents' tension and distrustful relationships with police, quote, has been a problem.
And remember, in my previous clip, I read there's only a community of 8,000 people, a population of only 8,000 people. This is like small. This is small.
Problem that has been building for a long time, end quote. Another quote, for many years, the police force was fine, but in recent years, I don't know why, it's become a big problem, end quote, he said. He blames it partly but sharply on inadequate safety training. He added that the city does not have a crime problem. Indeed, the city's crime rate is below the national average at one of the lowest crime rates in the entire state of Mississippi. A protester named Betterston Wade was so troubled about this 1-year-old's death, the shooting, that she drove from her home in Jackson, Mississippi, to participate in the protest. Quote, we are in the 21st century, not in the 1960s. And we are still dealing with unjustified police violence. Ms. Wade told the Mississippi Free Press, quote, we are mad and exhausted, but we won't go away quietly into the night. Amen to that. And we won't either. We won't either. We will stand with you. We will stand by you. And we will provide guidance as to what's happening to our audience. And if there's any guidance you can provide to us to be helpful, we ask that you do so. We're going to keep you in our thoughts and prayers. And we want to say this very clearly. We have to deal with Walmart. I don't give a damn who they advertise with. I could care less about their powerful corporate expressions in the marketplace. We have to deal with Walmart. Because if it had not been for their ridiculous and inhumane policy coupled with obvious inhumane police tactics, you wouldn't have a dead 1-year-old. We'll bring you more as the story develops.
All right, and so that I'm gonna leave it right there. I want to look up something. Shout out to Indisputable for that video. Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie there. I want to look up the population. What is the population of Senatobia, Mississippi? There. Check it out. It's a small, very small population. Senatobia, Mississippi. Population 8.35K. That is a small town. And then you have police officers acting crazy like that. And judging from the and that video shot that was outside of Walmart with them lined up with their billy clubs and everything. They were all white people, but and then the protesters was all black. So there we have it. That's a very small town, very small town. 8,354 people that lives in there. Senatobia is a city, and city is a city in the county state of Tate County, Mississippi, United States, and is the 16th largest municipality in the Memphis metropolitan area as of the 2020 census. Senatobia had a population of 8,354 people. April. Wow. That's a very small. So it says, hold on, 2016, Senatobia. Hold on, let me check. 2026 census data. Let me see, what is the 2026? What does it say there? 8.5K total population. There we have it. It had a 26% growth, 0.31%. Okay, yep. Senatobia is a city located in Tate County, Mississippi. Senatobia has a 2026 population of 8,499. There we have it. So, hey, that's it. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Everybody should know everybody in that city, in that county, because it's so small. And they got black cops all over. And the median household income in Senatobia is $54,167 with a poverty rate of 26.41%. Wow. Okay, so look, the median age in Senatobia is 39.9 years, 24.6 years for males, and 34.5 years for females. For every 100 females, there are 96.3 males. So what about the white and black people? Okay, white people, look, it said white is 53.72%, black or African America 40.32%, two or more races 3.5%, other races 2.26%, Asia 0.2%, so they don't have any Asians listed there. So it's mainly a white people. 53.72, and it's 40.32 black or African American. Hold on. So white 4,502 and black 3,379. So it's not a big difference, you know. All right, so there we have it. I don't know why I went there, but hey, I did. All right, so I will definitely keep you updated as if I run across any updates, I will update the story. Okay, so with that, I am out, and I will see you on my next video. And y'all be blessed.